Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the West Ham Daily. Thank you all for joining me. Sorry I'm a little bit late, but things like work get in the way. So, hey, what can I do? It's not that it's only just started, but the silly season is well on its way. With all the transfer rumours about players coming in and about players going out, and it kind of every time you think it can't get any more daft, you read another story and you think, here we go again. And of course, the big one that sort of seems to be coming out today is that Saeed Benrahma is about to return to Brentford at the end of the season, or so people believe. This is all odd, isn't it? I mean, we signed the player on a loan at the beginning of this season, and then we made him a permanent signing in the January window. And people say, yeah, okay, in order to get rid of a loan player, domestic loan player, so we can get Jesse Lingard in. We could have done that with Dawson if we really wanted to. We had two options there. Um, but we made it Benrahma, which was the more expensive one. And then just a few weeks later, a couple of months later, all of a sudden, we look like we're going to get rid of him. And it is really odd. It's a really sort of bizarre situation to be in. And I just thought, I'd throw in some of the other names that people keep throwing around, Declan going to Man United, Lingard returning to Man United, and so on. And for me, it kind of gets a little bit sort of before the season's even over. We've still got 2 months left. We've still got 7 games to go. We don't know where we're going to be in the league, which is going to determine exactly who we're likely to keep and who we're likely to let go of, and who's likely to want to stay with us. And already we're sort of hearing all these names. So let's start with Benrahma. Now, okay, he hasn't had the best of seasons with West Ham. 24 appearances, only 11 starts, 4 assists and no goals. But, for a signing that's costing us near on 25 to 30 million pounds with add-ons and all that sort of stuff, do you really think that we're going to then just sort of, wipe the floor with him and send him on his way to Brentford or anything like that? I can't see it myself. I don't understand it. And I think, as I've said several times before, I think his time will come. I think he will get the opportunity to shine at West Ham. It may not happen this season. He may still, for the remaining 7 games that we've got, he may still be on the subs bench. We're finding out today that it's quite likely that Cresswell is definitely going to be out well, not likely. We know he's going to be out for the next 2 or 3 games, but we also know that Mark Noble's likely to make the game this weekend. He might have to have something to strap around his arm, but from what I've been told, he'll make it. So, given that, I mean, you talk about Cresswell being out and Noble being out. Is there room to fit Benrahma in? I'm guessing not, because probably what you'll get is you'll get Ben Johnson or Balbuena coming in at the back. There's talk about maybe Oggy being available, but I think he may be on the bench. So, defensive wise, you wouldn't put Masuaku back and then put Benrahma in further up front. And then when it comes to Noble, there was talk about Fornals coming in to sit alongside Soucek, and then maybe give Benrahma a run out. But even then, I can't see that, because I still think Moyes will be thinking defensive minded and probably bring someone like Fredericks in, or as I've just said, it looks like Noble's going to be available anyway. So Benrahma's going to have to bide his time, because it's going to have to be the front two, Lingard and Bowen, to really slip up and not be on form for Benrahma to have any chance of starting. But that's okay. Some players do take time. Like when Bowen came into West Ham, Moyes took quite a bit of time before he started him. I think it was 3 or 4 games in when he was transferred to us before Moyes decided to start playing him from the start, from in the first 11. It's taken a bit longer for Benrahma, but I think he'll get there. Will he go back to Brentford? I doubt it very much. I think quite possibly, if Benrahma doesn't really sort of show, cut the mustard next season, then okay, you might turn around and go, well, he's had 2 seasons now, hasn't really delivered, and then maybe it's time to maybe move him on. He's not a West Ham type player. But you know damn well that this type of player, he looks like, when he starts and he plays and he's on form, the minute he scores a goal, I know I've been saying it all season, but the minute he scores a goal, he'll be up and running. But you can see us selling him. He goes to another club, probably in the Premier League. and killing it for them, because there is a decent player in there. It's just that Moyes wants certain players to play in certain ways, and we just know that at the moment it's just not happening for Benrahma. So the rumor about him going back to Brentford, I think, I think not. I think this guy, he's only 25 years of age. He's still got a big career ahead at West Ham, I think. And if, like I said, if it doesn't happen for him this season, it will certainly happen for him next. But I can see him playing, obviously appearing in the last 7 games, and who knows what will happen. It might turn around for him this season. Next up, well. Jesse Lingard is apparently now going. I mean, we've heard so many different stories, haven't we? Now, the rumor today is that Jesse Lingard is going to be offered a £140,000 a week deal back at Man United for him to stay. Now, look at these stats. No wonder people are raving about him. 9 appearances, all 9 starts, 8 goals, 4 assists. I mean, when we look at the Benrahma stats, yeah, okay. But then Lingard has got several years' experience as a Premier League player. And you could clearly see he's been busting at the seams to actually get going. And he's doing the business for us. So I'm not surprised that you've got the likes of PSG and whoever else, Real Madrid and Man United wanting to keep him. All of a sudden, he's hot property. Personally, I think that Lingard is going to have a big say as to where he wants to go at the end of the season. Would we have to maybe pay him high wages to keep him becoming the highest paid Premier League player? I think yes, quite possibly. If Man United really do offer him a big contract, 140 grand a week, we might have to match that in order for Jesse to play. And the thing I keep saying, and I think others have been saying as well, in terms of Lingard going back, he's not guaranteed. I know you can't, no manager can guarantee a player first team football, even at West Ham. But Lingard goes back to Man U, he will be in competition with all those other stars that they have there. And he's not guaranteed a first team start. Certainly not in front of Fernandes. So Lingard will be thinking about that and thinking about that quite carefully. Lingard will also be thinking about, at West Ham United, I've said this. I'm sorry I'm repeating myself. At West Ham United, I'll be number one. So long as I stay fit and so long as I'm on, delivering, I will always get picked at West Ham. A ready-made berth, which means I'll play in the Euros and I've got a very good chance of playing in the World Cup, and staying in Gareth Southgate's mind. You go back to Man United, he didn't play a game, did he, until he arrived at West Ham in the Premier League this season? So why would he consider going back there just for the money? So Man United throwing money at him, I don't think is going to be the be-all and end-all, to be quite honest with you. And then, of course, Declan. He's going to Man United as well, and we're going to swap. We're going to swap him for Lingard plus money, or we're going to swap him for 3 players from Man United and 80 million on top, and all that sort of malarkey. I don't think so. I mean, again, no wonder everyone's after him. 29 appearances, 29 starts, averaging 1.9 tackles per game, averaging 2 interceptions per game, and almost an 88% pass success rate throughout the season. All right, 1 goal, 1 assist, but so what? He's a holding midfielder. So you don't expect him to be scoring that many goals. No wonder with those stats, everyone wants him. Everyone's wanted him since he started at West Ham, really. And I don't think he's going anywhere either, because I don't, whether we finish in the Champions League or not is another issue. Of course, if we finish in the Champions League, it's going to make sure that we keep the likes of Lingard, Declan, and so on. But even if we just get into Europe, I think these players will stay. I really do. Call me an idiot, call me stupid, call me anything you want, but I really genuinely do. I think they can see that there's something really developing at West Ham United, and they're going to want to be part of that. If this isn't a 1 season fluke, and I hope it isn't, and we go on to do as good as, if not better, next season, then why would these players want to go elsewhere? Declan's starting for Man United again. He's going to compete in the middle of the park. Yeah, you could say that he could take the place of whoever's there, Matic, etc. Yeah, quite possibly. But I think Declan will look at this. He will look at the way that West Ham is set up. He'll look at the way that Moyes has set up the whole squad, the whole thing. The back end, the camaraderie, etc., etc. Why would he want to go? And then finally today, another player that's apparently leaving us for an old club. I mentioned him in the West Ham Weekly on Monday night. Um, Yarmolenko's apparently his old club, Dynamo Kiev, are interested in the player. Now, let's be honest, he's still got a contract till 2022, but I think we'll bite anyone's arm off if they come in for him. 22 appearances this season, mostly from the bench. Only 14 in the Premier League, one assist in the Premier League, and 3 goals in cup competitions. But we know his injuries. And we know, he's consistently injury prone. So he's one player out of those 3 that maybe we won't mind letting go of. But look at some of the players that we think are going to probably leave at the end of this season anyway. There's talk about Fredericks probably leaving. Lanzini, his last season. Winston Reid is probably not going to stay with us. Darren Randolph, likely to go. Already mentioned Yarmolenko, and there's already talk about Balbuena. I keep being asked, how many players do we need to actually, deliver in the Premier League and in Europe next season? And I still think we need 5 players before we actually let any of these players go. So if we're looking at players leaving the club, it's going to be players like these. It's going to be like Lanzini, who's done not much this season, bit part player, again being injured, etc. Fredericks consistently injured. Winston Reid, maybe, but I still think he's likely to go. Darren Randolph as well, and I've mentioned Yarmolenko, and Balbuena is at the end of his contract at the end of this season, and it's not likely he'll stay. So when you start looking at players like that going, do you really think we're going to get rid of players like Benrahma, players like Fredericks, players like Declan, and do you really think we're gonna let Lingard go quite easily? I don't think so, to be quite honest with you. I think a lot of the fringe players are likely to leave the club this summer. A bit of a clear out. I mean, you look at some of the. I mean, Lanzini, I think, earns something like 75, 80 grand a week. I think Reid is on 70 grand a week. I think Fredericks is on about 45, 50. I think Randolph is on about 40 grand. Yarmolenko is on 115, and then you got Balbuena about 40. So you've got about what was that? 300 grand a week's worth of wages there that you could save. There'll be a clearing of the decks in order to bring in, even if we bring in players on loan, there'll be a clearing of the decks to be able to pay the likes of Lingard the money he might be offered at Man United, pay Rice to keep him, give him a pay rise as well. So I think we need to stop worrying about who's going to go, who might leave, it's too early to say. I can say for sure, I don't think Declan will go. I don't think Benrahma's going anywhere. And we're going to pull out all the stops to keep Lingard. And if we carry on like this, Lingard himself is going to want to stay as well. And so when you look at the players that are quite likely to leave, why are we going to let some of the better players go? Right, let's finish off with a few comments before I have to go. Oi, James, I hope you're well. GP, I think he's on half term, isn't he, Jake? Thinking Stella and Anton are lucky. Not lucky, I'm working, mate. My apologies, I've got the timings wrong. WMP, on your mark, stop, on your mark, stop, get set. I know, but hey, you come to expect that off us, didn't you? Haven't you? So Benrahma for never blowing bubbles. I think he's staying. Aidan, I love it when I'm on time. You're the only one that is, mate, because I'm never on time. The hump is hello, mate. I hope you're well. Thanks for joining. Yeah, what a surprise that I'm late. If this title is true, I'm buzzing. You're buzzing about what? That he's going back to. Do you want him to leave, Toby? I don't, to be quite honest with you. Kane Watkins, thank you for joining us, and hello, mate. Hello to you. Clarick Newham. Stell, the title means nothing. Cheeky git. Clarick Newham, hello, mate. Well, with Benrahma, we all know he was signed by the board, not the manager. That's the problem. But was he, though? Because, I know this has been mentioned quite a few times before. But I really don't think we would have made him a permanent signing in January if Moyes really didn't want him. I think we would have just gone and signed... what's his name? Dawson instead. But anyway, Aidan, if Benny wants to go or if Moyes wants him to go, no problem. I'd be a little bit surprised. I think he has a place, but whatever. Yeah, I think he's got a place as well. Charlie Bonner, hello, mate. I'll happily take Benrahma back, lads. Would you? See, you know what he's worth, Charlie, but I think he's finding his feet. I think he's going to be okay at West Ham, to be honest. Stu, hello, mate. I can't stay for the show, but don't break my heart with that title. I'm not breaking anyone's hearts, mate. I just think it's an awful story to put out. Claret, Benrahma should be sold to fund the players that Moyes wants. Well, I've just said we've got an awful lot of players. All right, we may not get an awful lot of money for them. I didn't even include Anderson in on that, another 100 grand a week player. We've got an awful lot of players that will go, that will free up a hell of a lot of salary money. Toby, Charles, you can have him, mate, 30 odd mil for a top championship player. Well, the thing is, though, they won't pay 30 million to get him back. That's the thing. So I don't know. I don't know. Kane, I think Moyes is developing for next season. Doesn't make sense him going back to Brentford. I totally agree. The Humpis, nothing odd in Benrahma going. Moyes apparently never wanted him. We wasted tens of millions before with Allaire and Anderson. That is true, but I think the player's got a season left with us before any decisions are made. Hello, Ken. All these rumours are getting boring now, and we'll have another 4 months of this. Benrahma will be better next season, I think. Mate, I had a chat with Anton earlier because he wanted me to do a transfer show about a particular striker that we're linked with, and I'm the same. I think that it's far too early to be talking about transfers. We're not going to have the transfer window open till whenever it's going to be, August or whatever. We got a long, long way to go. But they kind of, I think they're quite unsettling maybe for the players. I mean, Benrahma's not having the best time. So when he starts reading rumours like this, is it good for the player to read them? It's very unsettling for the fans. We all go into our little bubble, don't we? Oh my God, this player's leaving, that player's leaving, that player's coming, Declan's going for 100 mil and all that sort of stuff. Maybe one day, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. The Humpies, so it wouldn't be the first time, hopefully the last. For what, mate? I didn't understand. Mick, I hope you're well. Rumours wait till the end of the season, the transfer news kicks in. That's it. So I'm going to promise myself I'm going to do no more transfer stories for the rest of the season until the transfer window opens or just before. Grumpy old Ben, evening from the Philippines. Far more sensible time to do a live stream, 9:20 p.m. there. Ken, if Oggy is not playing on Saturday, I'd move Soufal inside. Fredericks right wing back to help combat Newcastle pace. That's a good shout. I think Fredericks will play. Because of that, even if Oggy's not available, I think, and I do think Johnson will actually come in, to be honest with you. Mandy, hello, Mandy. Moyes sees Ben as someone who can get us back into the game if we're losing. Last 3 games, we haven't been in that position. Good point. No doubt he will get his chance before the end of the season. I totally agree. Totally agree. Mandy, again, on Jesse, that's his agent pushing his wages up and we can also offer 140 grand a week. I totally agree. All these stories are agents. They really, really are. And I doubt very much Man United are going to let us know what they're planning for Lingard anytime soon, to be honest. Foe, hello, mate. Lingard isn't going back to Man U, in my opinion. And I totally agree with you. Patrick, no, you're not late, but it depends on what time you came on, because I was late. Let's see. You made that comment on 20. No, you were 5 minutes late, mate. I wouldn't worry. Mick, he has a better first team chance at West Ham than Man United. Lingard, absolutely, totally agree. Foe, he might end up elsewhere, but not. But this is the thing, I think. All these rumours, like has just been mentioned, agent talk. Oh, he's linked with PSG. He's linked with this team, that team, etc., etc. I think he's happy at West Ham, and I think he'll stay. Jesse has one big move left in his career, which is that's a really, really good point. But if he gets 140 grand a week at West Ham United, why not? Why not stay there? The Humpies can't see Lingard going to France or Spain and leaving his family here with issues he's been through with them recently. Really, really good point. And, really good point. The fact that he's been quite open about what's happened with his family issues recently. Why would he go anywhere else? Kane, NGL, I hate it if Rice went to Man. He won't go to Man U. I mean, if anything, he wants to stay he wants to stay in London. He's already said that. Sam, if they offer more money, he will leave. I think we'll match it. I really, really do. And again, agent talk. So I don't think money will be the. See, a player like him, look how hungry he's been when he's come back and played. It's about playing for him. He wants to play. Why would he go back to Man U and sit on the bench for another 30, 40 grand a week extra? Can't see it. Can't see it. Lee, hello, mate. You're late. Well, you can watch the rewind. We're only going to be on for less than half an hour anyway. Sam, have I talked about Benrahma? I already have. Yeah. Sorry, mate. James Farmer. Hello, mate. Thought on João Mario rumor? Absolute tosh. Absolute tosh. This is the thing that gets me. We link with a player. He might play. I mean, he was in. He was a. Was he in before even Pellegrini? I think I can't remember. I think he was. I can't. I think he was. It's just not. I can't see it. I don't understand why. I mean, why would Moyes want to go back to a player who's now? I said in the West Ham Weekly about the age of the squad, and we need to reduce the age of the squad. Stories, rumours. He's a free agent. He's played for West Ham. He's played for West Ham. He's a free agent. All of a sudden, he's coming back to us. No. WMP, there will be no one left. Now we do need to get players in, but that's why I think letting some of our better players go, Benrahma, Lingard, etc. Just can't see it happening. Well, that was an April Fool's. Whoever watched that, I thought it was a really good April Fool's myself. Rob, hello, mate. Got 2 keepers on the bench already, and I still have a theory about that I've been saying several times over. But anyway, long dark. So far, Benrahma ain't worth the money. Not yet, but I think the player will find his feet. SA, hello, mate. Can I ask why you're not a fan of C. Wilson, please? Proven record. Injuries all the time. That's that he's out at the moment, isn't he? Or is he back? I don't know. But that for me, injuries, and we've got enough players who are injured all the time. So that's why I wouldn't have wanted him. Mick, would I take Anderson back or so? I've already said I'd take him back and give him a chance. Now he's a player that's already gone, another player that's gone through mental issues, family issues and all that sort of stuff. And to be shipped out to another country when maybe it would have been better to keep him at West Ham, put your arm around him, get him, get his move back, etc. I think there's still a good player there. I really do. But I think he may be one of the players that Moyes might want to let go. Ian, Anderson or Benrahma? Anderson cannot even get in the Porto squad. How are we going to move him on? Well, there will be clubs that will come in for him. He'll probably go back to Italy, if anything. Anderson or Benrahma? Well, I think they can be played in different positions. I'd have them both. Options, especially if we get into Europe next season. Long dark. Benny has skill, but he doesn't do much with it. Maybe Moyes not playing to his strengths. Maybe not. But I think Moyes wants. We talked about Fornals earlier in the season and how Moyes has changed his game. And I think what Moyes wants in Benrahma is to be the ball carrier, to get the ball into dangerous areas. But I think he wants him to play a slightly different game, and Benny's just not getting there. But it'll happen. It will happen. Uber Eats, get rid of Benrahma, hasn't showed nothing. Well, yeah. I know the stats don't certainly prove that, but I still think he's got time in him. Fo, I wouldn't sell Benrahma. He's got a high ceiling plus another transfer losing value. Can't run a club in this wave. It's very unsustainable. I totally and utterly agree. Roel van der Meyder. No, thank you for joining us. Need to rest some key players against the lower sides. Unfortunately, we don't have a squad deep enough to rest the key players. That's the problem. Ben, Yid friends of mine tells me Maureen wanted Jesse. He had his best spell at Man United under him, but Levy said the loan was too expensive. Levy may have changed his mate. Well, I'm so glad he came to us instead of them. Michael Semrad, I won't let Benrahma go either. Seems he temporarily lacks a confidence. That's all. I agree with that. Maureen, yeah, I know, I just got that. Ghost, if Lingard goes, we should bid for Saint Maximilian, who we're going to see on Saturday. No reason other than his hair is cool. And Da Costa wants him to come back to Brentford. Right, that was it. Less than half an hour. Thank you for joining us. As usual, we'll bring you a daily show. I'm battling with Anton not to do transfer shows. I just think they're just worthless at the moment. I just think we should sort of talk about certain news that are, that's more important. Like Noble should be coming back at the weekend against Newcastle. We know Creswell's going to be missed. Antonio isn't going to make it either. So there's going to still be a bit of shuffling around. I think we're going to see Johnson and I don't know. I think Fredericks will help Soufal on the right hand side of the defence to combat Massimilian. You want transfer shows? No time for them, mate. Not yet. So yeah, there will be a few changes, but like I said, it looks like Noble's back. Much more important. It's the here and now. But Creswell's not going to make it. So we've got quite a few players out. But I think I think we'll be all right for the weekend. And we'll go third. Thanks, Stel. Lee. Thanks, Stel. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, chap. See you later, Lee. And that's me going as well. So thank you all for joining me. Have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you on the West Ham Daily tomorrow.